Hello and welcome to our second episode of Silver Sages Sharing Stories. And today I have one of my very favourite Silver Sages speaking with me. Anne Noonan is known as the Silver Yogi, and she found she had to reinvent herself after her health went south a few years ago in her mid-40s. Rather than simply accept a downward spiral after stresses of corporate life and a business gone south, she stepped into the kind of work that makes her soul sing. And don't you know how much I love to hear that? Now over 60, Anne has turned her focus to yoga, meditation, health, and being a beacon of life for the over 50 woman to be everything she can be into the next few decades. And I'd really love you to sit back, relax, and enjoy my chat with Anne Noonan. Hi, Anne. Thank you for being part of all of this. I'd love you to share with everyone. I certainly know what you're doing at the moment. You're turning lots of us inside out and upside down in yoga classes online. And let me say, I'm very, very glad that you can't see what's going on at the other end of the camera. But tell me, I've only known you in your recent years of what you're doing now. Tell me about what happened, like the beginning of your career and how you ended up, just briefly, how you ended up in the situation you're in now.
It was like a matter of necessity. Probably if you'd said to me about 10 years ago that this is what I'd be doing, I would have said, no way. But look, briefly, I came from a corporate background. I was about 20 years working in corporate, all through my 30s and 40s. You know, when you're young and carefree and you've usually got hardly any worries at all in your 30s and 40s. I was in the corporate world. But what was starting to play on my mind was I watched the older female corporate workers, the women more into their 50s. And if there were any at all up into their 60s, I saw how much stress those women went through. And it's almost like female managers would hit the ceiling and you know, the promotion side of things but when we're talking 80s and 90s here too. So it wasn't a pleasant place.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't a pleasant place to be.
No.
And I was starting to think, hang on a minute, I don't think I want to be here into my later years, that my health was failing. So basically, long story short, I had to do something about my health. That wasn't all medical or pharmaceutical. I had to kind of find my way. And it took a long time to kind of figure out what I wanted to do. I wasn't a big exercise person, I must admit. I probably loved aerobics because of the outfits you could wear. But it was really a downfall in my own health that led me to pretty much what I'm doing now.
Okay. I remember the first time I met you. I don't know why I remember this. You must have made some impact. But
how long ago was that, Jenny?
A long time ago. I was at a workshop that you were at when I was first getting interested in internet marketing. And you stood up and you must have said something that resonated with me. You said you hadn't been well and you were starting to get well. And I remember looking at you and thinking, you don't really look all that well. And then the next time I saw you, somebody told me it was you. I had to have it pointed out to me. And I went, holy hell, what's she been doing? It's work. So tell us about the business, how you moved into that next stage of business.
It was funny, you know. So I decided I had to get out of corporate.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough to accept redundancy. So I thought, okay, here's my out. And I knew my health was just starting to do a little tip to the downward spiral. Okay, I thought, well, what do I do now? Do I go back and find another job? No, I don't want to go back. Doing more of what I'm doing. I knew the universe was saying to me, don't go back and do more of what you're doing. How about I try my own business? Okay, what kind of business will I get into? And my working with women to help them, you know, lift was playing in my brain, but I didn't think it was health or nutrition back then. So I became a personal stylist and I learned colour and I always had a bit of a fashion bent. So I became a personal stylist, and I thought, well, maybe if I can help a woman kind of present herself and look the right way and understand color and understand her own body shape and how to kind of impress in the workplace, maybe that's what I need to do. And I even teamed up with a business partner and bought or started a fashion range. So we were even getting into our own fashion range and personal styling. Now that was fun for a while, and I think I did that for about 10 years. But there was still this downhill, little bit of a downhill step by step into poor health. I thought, well, something's not working here. Here I am teaching a woman how to look good on the outside, but if she's still feeling like crap on the inside, then it's just not going to work. There's a mismatch here. And I had to start working from the inside. So rather than working with other people from the inside, I had to heal myself. So I had to deal with my own adrenal fatigue, insulin resistance, looking down the barrel of type 2 diabetes,
Wow.
menopausal symptoms like crazy, chronic insomnia,
wow.
and anemia. So I faced the surgical and pharmaceutical I did take on it was absolutely crucial. I had a hysterectomy. So that had to happen. And after the hysterectomy, I thought, well, this might be my uphill. Now I'll start feeling better. But it just seemed to just really increase the downhill slide.
Yeah.
And I wasn't interested in antidepressants, HRT, and all the medicals that I was being advised to take. I had to find a holistic way. So I really thought, look, I might as well get my qualifications in nutrition now. So I went and studied nutrition because I thought I knew it all, or I was obviously failing. So I went and learned nutrition, did a couple of different papers in nutrition, and then I thought, but movement, I know movement is the thing that's missing. And someone said, why don't you go try yoga? 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 Isn't that just stretchy, la-la stuff? Well, no. No. As you know now, Jen, it's not stretchy la-la. It's the first class I walked into nearly killed me. I walked into a Bikram, as you do. I walked into a Bikram yoga class, which was 90 minutes of sheer inferno hell. But I came out feeling something had shifted. And I thought, oh, I wonder if I found it. So I started going to yoga classes, trying a few different yoga classes, and I could feel my body was healing. With the nutrition, getting the nutrition right, stopping the addictive foods that I was hooked into, and moving the right way. And oh my God, it's almost like the heavens open saying, it's at last, you've got it, woman. You've got it through your brain. And now I feel like I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to do. It's quite amazing.
It's certainly working for you.
It's working, Jen. It's working. Yes, I think I remember a long, long time ago meeting you, and I probably wasn't great at all, and I was still searching for what I needed to find, I think.
So now your business is predominantly yoga, but also the nutrition side of things. So tell me a little bit about how you're now running your business. I know right now when we're interviewing, we're sort of towards the end of isolation from COVID-19. But in general, how does your business run?
I started just a little while ago running classes. I would advertise, okay, I'm running classes at this local hall, and then I was asked to run a few more at another little spot, and a few places, a few organisations around the place decided or asked me, would you come and run some yoga classes for us? So it got to the point, I would say yes to everything, and it got to the point that I was running lots of classes. I even learned how to run yoga in water. So the water yoga has been hugely successful. But I got to the point in the height of summer, I was running about somewhere between 20 and 22, 23 classes a week. I was getting exhausted. That's
a lot.
I was getting exhausted. Yeah. And
especially when you're actually doing the
yoga.
Oh
my heavens,
while you're teaching.
I had to learn to just stop doing and maybe stand still sometimes and teach instead of do, but the habit in me just kept doing. So I found I was getting a little exhausted. COVID seemed to arrive at the most amazing time, when it's like, Anne, you need a holiday. And it was like a forced holiday for a little while. But then all of those 22, 23 classes just went boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
One after the other just got slashed out from under me.
Yeah.
To the point, and there was nothing. And I had to turn around really quickly. And through the coaching with a very good friend, who said, Anne, get your ass online and just turn yourself around and get online. And here's how you'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
Best advice ever. And now I find the classes are opening up to people who probably wouldn't have ever come to a physical class.
Yep.
And I think it's more successful online. The people who can do, like you just mentioned before, Jen, you can sit on the floor and do your own thing. You can be in your pajamas if you want to, and you don't have to worry about anyone else around you. And you can focus on what the instruction is, and you do your own practice at home. And I'm finding it's great.
That is fantastic.
Mm.
Given that you're working with older women predominantly, and I mean 50 plus is hardly old, but we're all being called elderly at the moment.
Ridiculous, isn't it? Now I'm over 60. I'm considered a senior.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Great.
Anyway, have you encountered any ageism in your business?
Not with this line of business.
Fabulous.
Not with this one. The ageism was rampant back in my corporate days. Rampant. But fabulously now, no. If anything, I became, last year, Women in Business Awards, I became a finalist in a little section in the Women in Business Awards.
Yes.
For community dedication and social justice, and for the work I'm doing for the older set, the older woman and man, for that matter. And if anything, it's just the reception's been wonderful. It's been very welcoming, and I'm feeling the older I get, it's more welcoming, less ageism because of what I'm doing. But you know, if I'm looking for a job now, I know it just wouldn't happen. The ageism
very difficult.
Out there.
Very difficult. So your inspiration came from your own lack of wellness at the time.
Yeah.
What inspires you to keep going? What inspires you to get out of bed ready to run a yoga class at 7 o'clock in the morning, Anne? Because I haven't found that inspiration yet.
Oh, look,
that's coffee time.
I know. We've got to have our morning coffee at 7 a.m. Oh, heavens. Look, the fact that I know I feel good, I wake up and I feel good. And I think I'm just grateful, because I know there's a lot of 50-plus-year-olds, 60-plus-year-olds who don't wake up feeling good. And I think, look, I've got to be grateful to the universe, Jenny. If I've been gifted with this, my health has been returned to me, my fitness has been returned, and my sense of wellness, I've been handed this sense of wellness. I've worked for it, but I still look at it as a gift from the universe. And I've been gifted this, and if I know I came from a place of non-wellness, and I found the formula to create it, to heal myself, I know it's got to work for others. It's simple, not necessarily easy. You know, it's challenging to put into place, because we've got to change eating habits, movement habits, attitude, breathing, drinking, everything. But I've been gifted with this health. And if I can wake up every morning and go, nah, I've got no disease, no degeneration, no reason to find getting out of bed painful, I've got to share this with everyone else. I've got to show other women they can do this. No excuse. I know you can do this. So, and one thing too, one bit of inspiration, hang on, I've just got it right here next to me. It's here. Hold on. There was a couple of books I read a little while ago. I'll just kind of hold that up there. It's not my book. I'm obviously going to have to write my book. But The New Yoga for People Over 50 by Susa Francina. I got hold of her book, as you can tell. I really studied it. I got hold of her book a little while ago. And when I saw that this woman on the front here, it's over 80, I thought, alrighty, no excuse. But the models she uses, wiry little beings like this are over 70 and over 80.
Yeah, yeah.
It's possible.
Yes, it is. It is. So there's many, many things that you should be very proud of. Is there one thing in particular that you are most proud of in the business that you have created?
I think that I listened to the higher powers, or to my higher self, or my instinct, and I listened all the way. Maybe while I was listening over the years, I might not have realised it was instinct that I was listening to. But I'm very proud of the fact that I decided to just grab it and run with it.
Excellent.
I listened to the message of, listen, women need to step up, and they need to believe that they are far more powerful than they realise, older women particularly.
Yeah.
And run with it. Just believe in yourself and run with it. And rather than any kind of, and I've not got any negativity. It's really been so supportive. So I think what I'm proud of is the fact that I just dove in and ran with it, and had courage in myself, because there was one moment where I thought, oh, maybe I better go find a job. Oh, I better get the CV updated and go and find a job. And immediately that thought went, nope, there's bigger out there. Listen, just go with my gut.
Yeah.
So
and
I think
courage.
the fact that I went with the gut, my own gut kind of thing.
Is there anything that you wish that you had known before you started? And I mean started really in your own business overall.
I wished I'd known that it's possible to do well yourself. I came from a family who was very, no, you go and get a job and you stay with the one employer forever.
Yeah.
That's what you do. I had parents who did the one job and never ever moved, ever.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought I had to do. So that's why I was starting to get a little doubtful and a little bit frightened in the corporate world, because I was seeing the world change. But I can't stay here doing this forever. So I kind of wished and then I talked to other women of entrepreneurial parents who encouraged them to believe, no, you can get out there and do it. I kind of wished I'd had that much earlier. No, you can get out there and do this. I might have had a bit of self-belief a little earlier than 50 years old. So I guess, yeah, I kind of wished I'd had that mindset back then. But I guess I've been on my training course all this time, so everything happens for a reason.
I guess if you'd started earlier, you would probably not have done the same things, though, and therefore you wouldn't be having the impact that you're having now.
Quite possibly, I may have gone down a whole different path. So I probably needed to be in corporate and see and observe the older women and what was happening to her. I needed to be there to see it. I probably needed to experience this, my own health, to kind of empathize and feel what other women are also going through, so that I know I could be someone who can help that kind of age group, my age group. So I look at myself now as the kind of person that once you've been to your doctor, once you've done all your tests and you've done everything, and the doctor says to you, oh, look, just go and find someone, go do some yoga and get your diet sorted. Then I'm the person you come to, because that's what I wanted. I was dealing with doctors and dealing with stuff. I just wanted someone to say, here, go and see this person. She'll get you sorted with your nutrition and your movement. But I had to find it and hunt for it.
You had to create it.
I had to create it. Yeah.
That's often the case. It's often in our greatest struggles that we find our greatest gift. And
yeah, well said.
You've mentioned that this has made, basically it makes your heart sing to do what you're doing now.
Yeah.
And yet that came from such a struggle. Within the business, you also mentioned that before Christmas, you were very, very busy. And I could see that. I was seeing it coming through in emails and on Facebook, etc. I was thinking, how is this woman doing so many classes? Would you consider that in this stage of your business, in say the last 5 to 10 years, that has been your biggest struggle, that the business took over your life and became
Yes.
too much for you?
It was like, I even had another friend say to me, God, Anne, you're doing too many classes. You can't come out and have fun. It was no, I was missing out and going out and having some fun, because I'd say to them, I'm going to run a yoga class. I can't come out and drink tonight. I've got to run a yoga class first thing tomorrow morning. It was
Priorities, woman, priorities.
We got to have fun too, girls. Jeez.
Definitely.
Yeah, I like how it feels now. I like it.
That's great. So is there anything that you would really love to share with the people who are watching this video, just in general, about health or about the business, the idea of going into business and believing in yourself?
It is important to believe in yourself, and don't listen to the well-meaning people who want to say to you, you can't do that, you're too old for that. Oh my heavens, that's the worst words anyone can say to a woman. You're too old for that. But it's the same, it's also the worst thing that we can do to say to ourselves, I'm too old for that. Oh, I'm too old to be bothered with that. That's awful. There is no such thing as I'm too old for. It's even like with yoga. I'll have women go, no, I'm not flexible enough for that. I'm too old for that. That's not for me. Well, yoga expands the mind, the body, and makes you stretch and move into another area. It's the same with the mind. It's like we need to imagine a bit of yoga for the mind to believe that it can stretch and step into an area that you never thought you could. Wasn't it the Dalai Lama or someone who said the world will be run by grey-haired women?
Silver Sages.
The world, Silver Sages. Oh yeah, Jenny, I love your name, the Silver Sages. Yes, and don't be afraid of the word crone. That's where we as over 60 women are moving into the crone phase. But that's the most powerful phase of all for business, self-belief, influencing others, and having a little bit of power in our hands.
I think there's a Jewish word, mensch, as well, that means the same sort of thing.
Ah, okay.
Oh, don't quote me on that, because I'm not certain.
Another friend of mine.
Yeah.
There are some lovely words out there to describe the older. Another friend of mine, New Zealand, Dixie mentioned, even in New Zealand, Maori, there's a beautiful word for the older woman, and I can't remember what it is, but gosh, it sounded lovely.
Yeah.
So I think we should not be afraid of those years. Those are the years we need to really rise up. So
I thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us. It's been great. Your energy is just infectious, and your yoga classes are excruciating but wonderful.
But you're going okay, aren't you, Jen?
I'm going okay. I'm going okay.
Good. We're
Lovely
building up
to you, Anne.
Thanks, Jen. It was so much fun.
Soon. Okay. Take care.
Great. Thanks, Jen. See you.
Bye.
Bye.